ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं। परमानंदमाधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम्। श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन की जय। श्री श्री गौरनिताय की जय। श्री 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 जगन्नाथ बलराम सुभद्रा मैया की जय। जगत गुरु पतित पावन श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय। Welcome all of you for today's session. We will just do a little recap of last week's session, chapter 8. Anybody would like to go ahead with a briefly recap of chapter 8? Sujata
You can try, Mataji.
Sure, Mataji.
Yes. So the acronym for chapter 8 to remember is DEAD. The D is for doubt. So Arjuna has a lot of doubt. Some of his questions are, what is Brahman, which is the eternal spirit, eternal spiritual reality? What is Adhyatma, which is the spirit soul inside our body? What is karma? Karma is actions according to the laws of God, which is spiritual service. What is Adi Bhuta, which are the material elements, the 5 elements. Adi Deva are the demigod. They act under Krishna's instructions. Adi Yajna, which is service to the Lord. And he also asks, where does Krishna reside? And Krishna says that he is always within all of us. He says, how can one remember Krishna at the time of death? So the answer is, remember Krishna every day. Life is a practice and death is just an exam. Then it comes to E, which is basically exam or death. So whoever remembers Krishna at the time of death, he is the one who will be able to attain Vaikuntha. And how does one do this? One can do this by abhyasa, that is practice chanting, reading the Bhagavad Gita and doing devotional service. Then A is attaining the Supreme. So there are various ways of attaining the Supreme. In this chapter, Krishna, it talks about Ashtanga Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, of which Bhakti Yoga is the one that we can practice in today's age. So the practice of Bhakti Yoga is through chanting, and anyone from any walk of life can attain this. So he also compares the Ashtanga Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, and how Bhakti Yoga is probably the path that we can all take to attain liberation. Then the chapter also talks about why do we need to be liberated. So to be liberated, because this place is a material place to escape this material place, since it is full of misery and it is non-permanent. We also talked about why Krishna has created this place. Two things. One is punishment and other is purification. So everyone who is born in this world has to go through all the four stages: birth, old age, disease, and death. Um, and I think mainly we talked about how many bodies are there, which are essentially the costumes that the soul can take. And we also talked about the nature of the spiritual world, which is eternal, infallible, which has unlimited bliss, is all attractive, and a place of no return. It is the supreme destination. I think that's all I have in my notes.
Hari Bol Mataji. Very nice and detailed explanation. Thank you so much. So in chapter 8, Lord Krishna predominantly explained what happens at the time of death, like Mataji mentioned. He teaches Arjuna and all of us that our final thoughts shape our next destination. So if we remember Krishna at the time of death, we go back to Krishna, to his spiritual world, Vaikuntha Lokas. And we will not be coming back after or taking birth and death again. So Krishna says, whatever you remember at the time of, at the end of life, that you will attain. So if you remember him, you will attain him. You remember something else, you will attain that something. So, but we cannot suddenly become perfect, right, at the time of death. So we need to practice remembering him daily by chanting, hearing about him, and spiritualize our activities by keeping Krishna in the center. So that way we'll naturally think of him when it matters the most and during the final moment. Simple example is just like a student who consistently studies well, he remembers answers during the exam, right? In the same way, we must consistently think of Krishna to remember him when the biggest exam. So life is a examination, life is a preparation, and death is an examination. So if we prepare the life well, the examination will be done well. So the connection to chapter 9, to Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya Yoga, which is known as the most confidential knowledge. So after explaining what to do at the time of death, Krishna now goes deeper in chapter 9 and reveals why bhakti is the best and most confidential path to attain him. 1 second, I will just mute everybody. Okay, so he tells Arjuna, now I will share with you the king of all knowledge, the most secret truth. Because you are my dear friend, I will tell you this knowledge. So this chapter, Krishna's personal invitation to all of us through Arjuna to enter into a loving relationship with Krishna. So he explains how easy and powerful bhakti is. You don't need big rituals or you don't need scholarly knowledge. Just offer him a leaf, flower, fruit, or even a water. If you don't have anything, just offer water with love. He accepts it. And he assures us again and again, even if you are from any background, if you take shelter of me with love, you will come to me. And he says, I personally protect my devotees. And he also asks us, always think of me, become my devotee, and surely you will come to me. So prepare your heart and mind to remember Krishna, especially at the time of death is the 8th chapter. And 9th chapter says the best way to do that is through loving devotion. So what to be done during the time of death is explained in chapter 8, and how it has to be done will be explained in chapter 9. So Krishna is explaining or he's opening his heart and saying, don't be afraid, just come to me, I'll take care of everything else. So let us see. So the acronym for today's chapter is King. It also says King of all knowledge, right? So the acronym says King. K stands for knowledge. Krishna describes from 1 to 3rd shlokas. And he also talks about inconceivable relationship from 4th to 10th shlokas. And what is meant by non-worship and who are non-worshippers and what is the result of non-worshippers from 11 to 25. And he glorifies the bhakti from 26 to 34. So Krishna is talking about the degrees of confidential knowledge from 9.1 to 9.3. So Krishna tells Arjuna, because you are not envious and you are my dear friend, I am going to share with you the most confidential knowledge. So let us understand what is confidential knowledge all about and what are the three levels of confidential knowledge. So confidential knowledge is of three types: confidential, more confidential, and the most confidential. So confidential knowledge is what? Body and soul are different. That is confidential knowledge, because not everybody knows about this knowledge, right? Most people think I am this body. I'm tall, short, Indian, foreigner, male, female, etc. But Krishna says you are not the body, you are the soul. And you are the eternal soul full of knowledge and bliss. So it means he says you are Sachidananda. Imagine you are driving a car. The car may be in different colors, right? Red, blue, yellow, etc. And it may be old or new, small or big, but you are the driver. You are not the car. When you are driving a car, you are not the car, you are a driver. Similarly, when you are inside the body, your body is just like a vehicle, but you are the soul inside the vehicle. So we need to remember that. And Prabhupada also constantly emphasizes that self-realization begins when we understand this first step. What is that first step? Body and soul are different. And we are not the body, we are the souls. That is the confidential knowledge. What is more confidential knowledge? More confidential knowledge is devotional service and the relationship between Krishna and the soul. Now that we know we are souls, the first step is done. What the second step says is, the next question arises is, what is our purpose? We are souls, we are not the body. What is the purpose? Krishna says, your eternal nature is to serve me with love. So we discussed about the fish example in previous sessions, right? A fish belongs in water. You can give it any comforts, like five-star hotel comforts. You give the fish a comfortable bed and the five-star hotel food and gold jewelry, nice clothes. Will it be happy? No, right? It needs to be in water, because constitutional position of a fish is to be in water because it belongs to water. In the same way, we belong to Krishna. Our souls feel truly satisfied only when we serve Krishna with love. So that is our constitutional position. Because we are not bodies, we are thinking about giving comforts to the body, but we should think about giving comfort to the soul. And constitutional position of the soul is to serve Krishna. So that is more confidential knowledge. Then what about most confidential knowledge? Most confidential knowledge is pure bhakti and how Krishna reciprocates with that pure bhakti. Krishna says, when you serve me with pure love, without asking anything in return, I personally take care of you and reciprocate that love. So think of Gajendra Moksha. Some of you might have heard about Gajendra Moksha from Bhagavatam, right? The elephant Gajendra offered a lotus to the Lord when he is in great distress. And he offered the lotus with sincere heart. And Krishna rushed from Vaikunta to save him, even though he did not chant perfectly. Why did he come? Because his devotion was pure and helpless. Gajendra was a big, strong elephant, and he was living happily with his family in a beautiful forest. He was the king of all elephants and very powerful. One day it was very hot, it's a summer season, and Gajendra went with his family to a nice cool lake so that he can take bath and drink cool water, and he can enjoy a lot by splashing the water, playing and relaxing, etc. But suddenly a crocodile came and caught Gajendra's leg. Gajendra was very strong, but the crocodile is inside water. Crocodile belongs to water, and Gajendra is a land animal. No, it doesn't belong to water, right? The crocodile became more stronger, and Gajendra tried escaping, but he pulled, kicked, fought for a long time. And it is also said that they fought for thousands of years, but the crocodile did not leave him. Slowly, Gajendra got tired. His family also tried helping, but they couldn't do any help, and nobody could save him. Even an elephant in a jungle in the middle of a lake, surrounded by enemies, when he called out to the Lord with a sincere heart, the Lord Vishnu came immediately. So imagine if we are practicing devotees, we chant Krishna's name sincerely, will he not listen? He will surely listen, right? So let us take inspiration from Gajendra and call out to Krishna daily, not just when we are in trouble, but remember him always with love and faith. So these are the three types of confidential knowledge: confidential, more confidential, most confidential. Confidential is, I'm not this body, I'm the soul. More confidential is, what is the relationship between the soul and Krishna, and what is devotional service. And most confidential is uh, the pure devotion and how Krishna reciprocates for the pure devotion. So this is, we need to start with understanding our real identity, engage in daily sadhana, by chanting Hare Krishna, hearing Bhagavadgita, Bhagavatam, and keeping Krishna in the center of everything we do. And develop a personal loving relationship with Krishna. We already have that relationship. We need to revive that relationship. And Krishna is waiting to reciprocate the relationship, the devotion that we offer to him. So Krishna also says, but there are two qualifications to understand this confidential knowledge. Krishna tells Arjuna that not everyone can grasp this deep knowledge, the Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya. You need two key qualities. What are those? Anasuyava and Shraddha. Anasuyava is non-envious. One must be free from envy, especially envy towards Krishna, envy towards spiritual authorities, or envy towards devotees who are making spiritual progress, etc. Right? We should not have envy. And why it matters? So when someone is envious, they don't like hearing that Krishna is the supreme person. They may argue, reject, or compare. But non-envious person listens with open heart and a desire to understand. For example, if you ask a judge, Supreme Court judge, that what is your profession, will he answer, I am a Supreme Court judge, right? Yes or no?
Yes, Mataji.
And if you go Ambani or Adani, if you ask them, they will say, okay, I own all these businesses and I am the MD or the chairperson for all these companies and all. Will they say or not?
Yes, Mataji.
Is it boasting or is it fact?
Fact, Mataji.
Fact only, right? If you go ask Narendra Modi, what will he answer? He will say, I am the Prime Minister of India. Does it mean he is boasting? He's talking about the fact. The same way Krishna is talking about the fact that I am God. But people think that he is boasting about himself. He's asking everybody to serve him. So that the facts are to be understood in a way that they are facts. Krishna is not boasting. That's why people are envious about him. Krishna is the only person, he is the only God. Jesus Christ also, he said, I am the Son of God. He never claimed that he's God. And Muhammad Prophet, he's also claimed as a messenger of God. He never claimed that he's God, right? Even Devi Devatas, nobody claims that they are gods. Krishna only says, I am God, and that is the fact. It is approved in all the scriptures, Upanishads, Vedas, everywhere. The essence is given as Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and he is the cause of all causes. He is the origin, etc. So, but some people are envious. That's why we should not have any envy to understand Krishna. Imagine two students listening to a teacher. One respects and loves the teacher, and the other is always comparing and criticizing with other teachers. And this teacher is not so great. That teacher has given a lot of examples. I did not understand, etc. Who will learn better? Obviously, the student who respects and loves the teacher, he will be able to learn better than the other student who is comparing and criticizing. So Arjuna is a perfect example of Anasuyava. He sincerely wants to understand and has no pride or ego or envy towards Krishna. So that is the first quality that everyone should have to understand this Rajavidya. And the next thing is Shraddha, faith. Shraddha means firm trust in Krishna's words and the process of devotional service. Krishna's words and whatever he talks about the process of devotional service, we should have faith. Even if we don't understand everything right now, but we should have faith. Why it matters? Faith is like planting a seed. You water it daily with chanting, hearing, and service, even before the fruit appears. So the same way we plant a seed, right? When we plant a seed, we will have that faith of that seed will grow into a big plant and it gives flowers and fruits. That will be the faith that we have, right? So bhakti also should have that kind of faith. When a child joins a school, he has faith that one day he will become a graduate, he will settle down in some occupation, etc. Right? Similarly, in spiritual life, we should also think in the same way. Srila Prabhupada also started with just that faith on the holy name. So when he started to go to Western world, he had only two sets of clothes, or one or two sets of clothes, and Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and he has 40 rupees with him. So with that, he has that faith Krishna will take care of everything. With 40 rupees, he requested somebody to get into a cargo ship, and with 40 rupees, he landed in New York. And see the miracles that he has done. And he has created 108 temples, and he created devotees across the world. Every country you go, there is ISKCON. and everybody, there are devotees from foreign countries who are still in strong faith in Krishna, and they're reading and spreading the Krishna consciousness. So faith should be like that. So in summary, right, qualification for understanding this knowledge is twofold. One is anasuyava, one is shraddha, not being envious and having firm faith. So we need to let go of our pride and comparisons and develop faith in Krishna and the Guru and the process of bhakti, and follow the footsteps of Arjuna. We should have open heart like Arjuna and faithful mind. So what is king of knowledge? Now Krishna describes king of knowledge, Rajavidya, in second shloka. So Krishna tells Arjuna that Bhagavad Gita's knowledge of devotional service is the king of all knowledge, because it is the topmost knowledge, and it is purest knowledge, and it is also most joyful. So let's break down what this means with examples. Rajavidya means, Raja means king, Vidya means knowledge. So Rajavidya means king of knowledge. So this knowledge is like a king because it is above all other types of learning. So material knowledge may help us in this life, but spiritual knowledge helps for eternity. So you can learn engineering, medicine, business, but that at the time of death, none of it can help you. But bhakti helps us cross over from material plane to the spiritual platform, right? That's why it is called real king of knowledge. And we also discussed about somebody has done bhakti, 30% of bhakti in this life, they will start from where they left off in previous life. 31% onwards they will start. If you look at small children, kids, they start reciting shlokas, they explain Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. There are so many children, right? 4 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, they explain very nicely. How are they doing it? Because they might have done in the previous lives. And the next is Rajaguhyam, most confidential. Even though it is the highest knowledge, it is also hidden. You won't find it unless you approach Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. And you don't find it unless you have a spiritual guru and you are sincere about it, right? Um, so it is not that it is hidden, it is just that people are not approaching. So nobody will stop somebody to read Bhagavad Gita, to go to a temple, to approach a spiritual master, etc. Right? But people are not interested. That's why it is confidential. It is not that confidential because it is hidden from everybody. It is not accessible. Even though it is accessible, people are not ready or not approaching the spiritual knowledge. Srila Prabhupada also says we cannot understand Krishna by our own logic or degrees, material degrees. Only by devotional service we can understand Krishna. We have seen in the previous chapters also. That's why even big scientists who has created lot of medicines or anything of that kind, right? They may miss to understand the bhakti. But simple-hearted person who is a devotee who can understand very easily. So devotion is essential to understand Krishna. And third thing is pavitram. It is the purest of all knowledge. This knowledge cleanses the heart. Why is it purest? It cleanses your heart. What is there in the heart? All bad things in the heart. Can anyone name? Anger, lust, greed. You all agree? We all have all these things, right? Those are in the heart. And those have to be cleaned up. How it will be cleaned? Will be cleaned with this knowledge. And once they are clean, then we will get that inner peace. We also discussed about a mirror example, a mirror covered with dust. It cannot reflect the image. Bhakti is like wiping the dust so that the soul shines bright. Many devotees say, my life changed completely after chanting and studying Gita. So I have also, I have experienced and I've also heard many people saying that. And it is also a Uttamam knowledge is Uttamam, which is transcendental. That means which is beyond this material world. Material knowledge ends with death, but this leads to liberation and eternal life and helps us go to the spiritual planets. So when you are in a rented home, you always wanted to have to move to your own home, right? How many of you have that desire? All of us have, right? No?
Yes,
So
Mataji.
you're already transcendental.
Hmm.
Okay. So you can stay there without moving different rented houses because you wanted a home to be permanently, at least if not permanent eternally, but permanent in this lifetime. You can stay there without moving to different rented houses, right? The same way, instead of moving from one body to another body and suffer from material miseries, let us go to our permanent home, Vaikunta. So this knowledge is that transcendental, which is not material. Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam. It is realized by experience. You don't have to believe blindly. If you chant, read, serve, then you will feel the change within. So your heart becomes lighter and you'll find that peace and you will also be joyful. It's just like sugar is sweet, right? You don't need someone to prove it. You just taste it. Similarly, bhakti is self evident. You can just taste it, you enter it and taste it. And you practice sincerely, you will be able to experience that joy and peace. And it is susukam, joyful process. This path is full of joy, no pressure, no fear, just love and service, chanting, dancing, feasting. It's a party for the soul. So you might have seen this Sunday feast. Anybody has attended Sunday feasts in any temples, any ISKCON temples?
Mataji. No, Mata.
No. Sunday feast is real fun. So it is only bliss, no boredom. Kirtan, prasadam, association, everything will be there. So if you have not done it, you experience time. And this is a joyful process. That's why it is called as Susukam. And Avyayam, everlasting. Whatever spiritual progress you make, you never lose it. Even if your material life ends, your bhakti continues in the next life that we discuss. That's why it is called as everlasting. And in Sanskrit, it's called as Avyayam. Krishna says even a little effort you do in bhakti, it protects you from great dangers. If you chant one round today, Krishna remembers it forever. So these are the characteristics of knowledge, this Raja Vidya. It's king of knowledge and it is most confidential. It is purest, it is transcendental, and you can experience it directly, and it is joyful and everlasting. So these are the characteristics of the king of knowledge. So now Krishna is talking about that inconceivable relationship. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagad viparivartate. Somebody wants to read the translation?
May
Yes, Mataji. This
I?
is material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction. O Sun, O Kunti, protecting all moving and non-moving being under its rule. This is manufacturing is created and animated again and again. Bhagavadgita 9.10.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. So Krishna explains a very beautiful truth here. Although everything in this world is happening by his energy, and he says, I am not personally entangled in it. Nothing moves without his will also. Let us understand Krishna 9.4. Krishna says, I am present in every atom, every being, and every corner of the universe. But still, I am not personally affected by all that I create. Just like the sun is present everywhere, right? Through its light and heat. But the sun itself remains far away. Krishna is like that. His energy pervades everything everywhere, but he remains beyond the material influence. Krishna is also not dependent on the material world. Though everything rests on him, he is not resting in everything. It is like saying, I support it all, but I am not burdened by it. Like a spider spins a web from its own body, but it is not stuck in the web. But if any insect goes inside, it is stuck in the web. Krishna creates this material world, but he is not never trapped by this world. So that's what Krishna says in 9.5. In 9.6, Krishna says, Krishna's control is subtle but perfect. Krishna compares himself to the air in space, which touches everything but remains unaffected. Think of a fan moving the air. You cannot see the electricity, but it is making everything work. Krishna is that unseen force behind nature. We have also seen in this chapters as well. And the cycle of creation and destruction, he talks about it in 9.7 and 9.8. At the end of every cycle is one day of Brahma. Everything merges into Krishna's energy, and again he recreates it. So it is the kind of creation, maintenance, destruction, creation, maintenance, destruction. So this is a cycle that goes on continuously. And 9.9 Krishna says he remains detached. Even though he creates this world, but he is not attached to this world. He's like a judge who signs a decision, right? But has no personal involvement. So like that here Krishna says the material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Moving beings are animals, birds, aquatics, human beings, etc. Non-moving beings are, what are non-moving beings?
Trees, mountains.
Trees.
Yes, absolutely. Trees and mountains. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. So this is law of karma, law of nature. So it creates, it is created, maintained, annihilated, but it is being done under his direction, under Krishna's direction. That's what he says. Those are all my energies. We talked about Krishna's energies, right? Internal energy, external energy, para prakriti, apara prakriti. And all of them are Krishna's energies, and they work under his direction and producing moving and non-moving beings. So Krishna is talking about non-worshippers from 9.11 to 9.25. Why some people don't accept Krishna and how different types of worship leads to results is what Krishna talks about in this verse. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Krishna says, fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They don't know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord, all that be. So Krishna says, fools mock me when I appear in a human form. They don't recognize my divine nature. They feel like Krishna is also like a human being. And because Krishna comes in a human-like form, like in Vrindavan or Kurukshetra, some people see him as an ordinary man. They can't see that he is the Supreme Lord in a seemingly simple form, but he comes with all his opulences. So it is like seeing a king in simple clothes. Suppose a king goes in a disguise to a village, and a villager sees and he thinks that he's a farmer, but the villagers do not know he rules, and he rules the whole kingdom, right? The same way Krishna is also not recognized by fools. Prabhupada also explains that only devotees with faith and humility can recognize Krishna. People who are envious or proud miss Krishna even when Krishna is in front of them. So that's the reason why we need to have faith and non-envy. Those are the two qualities that we discussed already. So why do people not worship Krishna properly? Because I think this is explained in next verse also. Because they are bewildered by material energy called Maya. The 9.12 Krishna talks about it. They chase temporary success, pleasures, or they wanted logic-based knowledge and forget the source behind all is Krishna. So if you go back and go to the roots of that knowledge, you will definitely understand Krishna is the source behind everything. But fools, they are bewildered by material energy called Maya. And they think Krishna is just another teacher or historical figure, teacher like a leadership teacher. He has given some leadership lessons through Bhagavadgita, or he's a historical figure, etc. So the thinking is like that. So they feel like he is just a wise man like Buddha or Gandhi, etc. Right? But they don't understand he's the supreme controller. In Vrindavan, Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill when he was 7 years old. He lifted Govardhan area. The perimeter is 24 kilometers. So when you go to Govardhan, it's a huge mountain, right? 7-year-old boy lifted Govardhan Hill on his little finger. It's not an ordinary feat, but people will not understand. They think that he's just an ordinary man or he's a wise man, etc. He also showed his universal form, and still some people thought he was just a village boy. This is the power of Maya. And Krishna talks about the behavior of Mahatmas in 9.13 to 14. Krishna says true devotees are Mahatmas. Know that Krishna is a supreme, because they know Krishna is the supreme lord of everything, and they always chant his names. They serve him with love, and they are not bewildered by Maya. Like fools are bewildered by Maya, and Mahatmas who are pure devotees, they are not bewildered by Maya. Srila Prabhupada also, we discussed, right, in the old age to preach Krishna's message all over the world, Why did he go? Because he had deep realization that Krishna is real, personal, and supreme. That's why Srila Prabhupada is also called Mahatma. And 9.23 to 25, Krishna says, worship of demigods versus worship of Krishna. What is the difference? Those who worship demigods go to demigods' planets. Indra, Chandra, Vayu. Everybody has a planet, and if you are worshipping them, you will go to that planet. And there may be a difference in terms of longevity of the life, and in terms of the comforts, and in terms of varieties of food and luxury. Everything will be there, but they're all material. And you do karma, and you are bound by the karma, even in the higher planets. And you go to demigods' planets. But those who worship ancestors go to ancestors' planets, but those who worship Krishna, they go to Vaikuntha planets. So whatever you worship, you reach there. Demigods give temporary results like rain, health, children, whatever you want, material opulences, right? They would be giving based upon your karma account. But only Krishna gives eternal liberation. But the common misunderstanding is people think all gods are same, but Krishna says I am the source of all demigods. We need to clearly understand that they work under my supervision, just like minister work under a prime minister, right? So in the same way, all demigods work under Krishna's supervision. So 9.11 to 9.25, Krishna talks about fools mock Krishna's human form, and Maya misleads them. Mahatmas serve Krishna with devotion, and demigod worship versus Krishna's worship. Demigods gives temporary results, and when you worship Krishna, you will get the permanent moksha, liberation from birth and death cycle. And here
Mataji,
Krishna is explaining.
slides are not moving. You got stuck at rejecting Krishna.
Okay.
Yeah, now, afterwards. Next.
Okay. I think we will discuss about rejecting Krishna. Krishna is explaining what happens when people reject him in this verse. Instead of choosing the path of bhakti, some choose what is being told here. Moghasha mogha karmano mogha gnana vichetasah rakshasi masurim chaiva prakritim mohinim shritah. So Krishna is saying those who are thus bewildered or attracted by demoniac and atheistic views, in that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. So Krishna is clearly explaining what happens when people reject him. Moga Asha. Moga Asha means false hopes. Moga is false. Asha means hopes. They dream of happiness, but they never get it, because in material world there is no happiness. Dukhalayam ashashvatam. So when you go to a coal mine, what you will find? You will not be able to find milk there, right? You will only find coal. In the same way, in this miserable material world, everywhere you go, you find only miseries. But you are trying to search for happiness where there is no happiness. And so that's why Krishna says, Mogha Asha, false hopes are there for this kind of people. And they dream of happiness, but they never get it. Mogha Karma. Mogha Karma is useless actions. They work like donkeys, 12 hours, 13 hours, 18 hours, but they don't have any spiritual interest or understand who are they, what is the purpose of human life, and they try doing what animals are doing: eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Those four activities they do, and they work like donkeys, and they don't have any spiritual knowledge. So those are called Mogha Karma. Mogha Gnana, their knowledge is defeated. Material intelligence is there, but no God consciousness. Rakshasi, Asuric nature, demoniac mentalities. They're proud, violent, selfish. So demoniac is Asuri. Asuras is nothing. They're not called as Rakshasas in Kali Yuga. Everybody who has pride, who is behaving violently, who has selfish desires, they're all called as Asuras. So what does this look like today? Someone thinks I am the controller. They try to become the center of attention, or they ask people that they praise them, and others say there is no God and rely only on science or money, etc. And some people perform charity or do some yoga, but not for Krishna, for name, fame, or health benefits only. Even though such people might appear advanced in the world's eyes, but Krishna says all their efforts are ultimately fruitless, because they are disconnected from the real source of everything, which is Krishna. So Prabhupada also says you may be a big scientist, politician, or yogi, but if you forget Krishna, everything is defeated. Even if someone has a PhD, wealth, or power, if they are against the devotion, all their karma, knowledge, and goals become useless because they will be entangled with the birth and death cycle, right? They will not be coming out of the birth and death cycle. They will continue to be stuck there. So imagine a smartphone which doesn't have a mobile data, or it is not connected to any Wi-Fi network. It may look fancy, but it is not useful until it is connected to mobile data or Wi-Fi. Similarly, a person without connection to Krishna may look successful, but spiritually they are lost, like useless, right? Like the smartphone without a mobile data. So these are the things that we need to remember: Mogha Asha, Mogha Karma, Mogha Gnana, Rakshasi Bhava. False hopes, useless work, defeated knowledge, and Mogha Rakshasa Bhava is demoniac nature. So success without Krishna is a failure only, because it's success materially but spiritually a failure. So real progress happens only when our actions, desires, and also our knowledge is offered in devotion. So Krishna is saying, who is Mahatma? I think we already discussed about it. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashritaah bhajanti ananya manaso gnatva bhutadim avyayam. So Krishna is saying here, Arjuna, Mahatmas are not just someone famous or a freedom fighter like Mahatma Gandhi, right? So those are not Mahatmas. So Mahatmas are not bewildered by material world, not chasing for money, not chasing for fame, or they have this false ego, etc. Right? So those are called Mahatmas, and they take Daivim Prakritim, Daivim Prakritim Ashritaha. So they take shelter of Daivi Prakriti, which is spiritual energy of Krishna. And Bhajanti Ananya Manaso. What do? They serve Krishna with pure devotion. And they know Krishna is supreme and eternal, not just a myth or symbol or a historic figure, etc. Right? But they understand who Krishna is as it is. Those are called Mahatmas. Srila Prabhupada is also a great example of true Mahatma. He left everything at the age of 67 to serve Krishna. He never asked for name or fame. He just preached Krishna Bhakti. He always says, I am a simple messenger of Krishna, and also my Guru Maharaj. So he met his Guru Maharaj only 2 times. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is his Guru Maharaj, and he met his Guru Maharaj only 2 times in his lifetime. But he has carried that instruction of his Guru Maharaj, and he has taken it seriously and spread the knowledge in the Western world. Despite of many challenges, he traveled around the world, and he has preached and he has guided others to surrender to Krishna, etc. Right? So how do we become Mahatmas? So how can we become, we are not like Prabhupads, right? But we can also start chanting Hare Krishna daily, associate with other devotees, and study Bhagavad-Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and accept that Krishna is the goal of our life, and make all your activities spiritualized by keeping Krishna in the center, and serve selflessly and share Krishna Katha about Krishna with others also. So real Mahatmas versus false Mahatmas, what is the difference? False Mahatmas speaks all is one. That means they say, I am God, you are God, everybody is God. But true Mahatmas, they say Krishna is supreme. And false Mahatmas works for fame or money or any sense pleasure, sense gratification, etc. But true Mahatmas, they work for Krishna's pleasure. And false Mahatmas may avoid God altogether. And true Mahatmas, they always glorify Krishna. If you are in the middle of devotees, they always discuss about Krishna, Krishna Katha, devotees of Krishna, and the opulences of Krishna, and the creation of Krishna, energies of Krishna, and the pastimes of Krishna. So everything is centered on Krishna. For example, Narada Muni is one of the greatest Mahatmas. He travels across the universes, chanting the Lord's names and awakening bhakti in everyone, from kings to hunters. Like Mrugari is a hunter, right, who became a saint just by Narada's mercy. He makes a lot of devotees by traveling around the world. So Mahatma is not just about age, dress, or following rituals. Mahatma is someone who knows Krishna as God, and he also has faith in his personal form. Krishna has his personal form, and he is also fully surrendered to Krishna, and he spreads devotion to others also. He practices devotion as well as he spreads devotion to others. And how to recognize Mahatmas? So there are certain characteristics to identify who is Mahatma. Look at Prabhupada here, and all the foreign children, they identified Prabhupada as Mahatma, and they are offering obeisances. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridhavrataha namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. So we need to understand this verse clearly. Satatam kirtayanto mam, always glorifying Krishna. Kirtayanta means glorifying. Satatam always. Mam means Krishna. Krishna is saying, right? Satatam kirtayanto mam. Always glorifying Krishna, consistently chanting, sharing Krishna katha, etc. And yatantascha drudavrataha, striving with firm determination. So they're very disciplined in sadhana, despite many obstacles. They might come, they might go. They don't worry about them, but they will be having that firm determination of service. Yatantascha drudavrataha. Drudavrataha is determination. Namasyantascha mam bhaktya. They offer obeisances with love. So bowing down in front of the deities with humility, affection, and love. It's not as a ritual. So we go to the temple sometimes and we just offer obeisances. It's just as a ritual, right? Some people do that as a ritual because they don't love God, but some people are God fearing. If I don't offer respectful obeisances, then I will be cursed or I will not get any good, etc. Right? For that reason also they will offer. But it is this namasyantascha mam bhaktya is offering obeisances with love. Nitya yukta upasate. Nitya means constantly. Yukta means engaged in devotional service. Upasate is engaged. Yukta means devotional service. Nitya yukta upasate. Constantly engaged in devotional service. There is no break. They do daily seva reading because they spiritualize all the activities, right? So with that spiritualization, they keep Krishna in the middle of everything that they do. So there is no break in bhakti because they keep Krishna in the center of everything they do. So these are the clear signs of Mahatma. Satatam kirtayanto mam, always glorifying Krishna. Etantascha drudavrata, striving with firm determination. Namasyantascha mam bhaktya, offering obeisances with love. And nitya yukta upasate, constantly engaged in devotional service. So Srila Prabhupada is one of the best examples. Satatam kirtanam, constantly spoke about Krishna. And Dridhavrataha, he crossed oceans, 7 oceans alone with zero support, with firm faith in Krishna, and bowed with humility even when others worshipped him. And he's always engaged with writing, teaching, guiding till his last breath. And our senior devotees today also, they wake early, chant sincerely, teach Gita, and they also do services like cleaning temple, honoring prasadam with gratitude. These are all, there are so many great Mahatmas around us. So imagine a lamp that always burns. We know this example, right? Many people quote this example, giving light in every direction. A lamp that always burns, giving light in every direction. Such a person is always connected to Krishna and helps others also come closer to Krishna. They will be connecting and they'll also make others come closer to Krishna. So the takeaway here is we also need to develop all these habits of satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha drudavrata namasyantascha mam nityam nitya yukta upasate. So this is the essence of this verse. Yeah, I think we already discussed kirtayanta, always chanting, drudavrata with a fixed vow, namasyanta offering obeisances, nitya yukta always engaged in devotional service. So other types of worshippers, there are different worshippers. So direct worshippers, they worship directly Krishna, and indirect worshippers, they don't directly worship Krishna, but they go in an indirect way. And in these verses, Krishna 9.15 to 25, Krishna says how not everyone worships him directly. Some people worship in different ways, and based upon their realization, and also they have some personal desires based on the taste that we say, right? The same way, these types are also called as imperfect worshippers. These are other types of worshippers, not direct worshippers, but they're also called as imperfect worshippers. or less complete worshippers. Three main categories of these indirect worshippers Krishna talks about in 9.15. They are Ekatvena, Pratatvena, Bahuda, Vishwatomukam. Ekatvena means they worship God as impersonal oneness. They feel like, okay, everybody merges into an impersonal Brahma Jyoti. I am God, you are God, we'll all merge into the God. That God is the Brahma Jyoti. So everybody will become merged into that Brahma Jyoti. And Prutatvena is worshipping various demigods, worship Indra, Surya, Durga, etc. Right? So they worship various demigods. And Bahuda Vishwatomukam, and these people worship the universal form of the god. So what is the problem by doing this indirect worship? These forms of worship are not overall wrong. Without doing anything this is better than doing something, right? But they are not complete because they miss Krishna's personal form. The highest form of worship is bhakti yoga, accepting Krishna's personal form. Krishna is a person, Krishna is an we are individuals, Krishna is also an individual. We are minute individuals, Krishna is a supreme individual. We need to understand that and worship. And real life examples, if you can say, take Ekatvena is oneness worshippers, people who say, like we discussed, all is one, I am God, you are God, we'll all merge into God. They don't believe Krishna has a personal form and he is a person. And Pratatvena is demigod worshippers, people who pray to many gods for different benefits, health, wealth, name, etc. Right? And like going to different departments for different services. Instead of going directly, if you can approach God directly, you don't need to go through the demigods, right? That is what we need to understand here. Bahuda Vishwatomukam, universal form worshippers. They meditate on the sun, stars, oceans as forms of God. They can't see Krishna's personal form yet. So those are called Bahuda Vishwatomukam. And Prabhupada says, suppose you water the leaves that we discussed, right? You water the leaves and branches of a tree, but not the root, it won't help. But if you water the root, the whole tree is nourished. Krishna is the root of all demigods and all the energies that we discussed. Para, Apara, both energies are Krishna's. And worshipping Krishna directly is the most effective and complete way. Instead of going to different departments, when you can approach a prime minister, you don't need to go to separate departments, right? So you have 5 things to be done within 5 departments. You don't need to go to every department. When you know prime minister, you can directly go to prime minister and ask for all the things to be done. He will just pass on one order and everything will be taken care. So in summary, many worship God in different forms or ideas, but unless they worship Krishna as a person and unless they love Krishna and they surrender to Krishna, they won't reach the full realization. Krishna also says those who worship demigods go to demigod planets that we discussed in the previous verse, right? Those who worship Krishna, they will go to Krishna's planet. Krishna says he is the father, mother, support, and the grandsire. Pitahamasya jagato mata dhata pitamaha edyam pavitram onkara ruksama yajure vacha. So in this verse, Krishna is explaining his all-pervading role in creation and spiritual life. He says, I am the father of this universe. Just like father gives life and take care of his children, right? Krishna is the original source of all living beings. He says, I am also the mother. A mother nurtures with love and affection. Similarly, Krishna lovingly maintains and nourishes all living entities. Krishna also says, I am the support. Just like a pillar holds up a building, Krishna supports the entire cosmic manifestation. Without Krishna, nothing can exist. And Krishna also says, I am the grandfather of everything. I am the original seed-giving father, meaning he is the origin of even the demigods like Brahma, Shiva, and he is the oldest and he is the wisest beings in the universe. And he says, I am the object of knowledge. Everything we learn should ultimately lead us to understand Krishna. That means he is the object of the knowledge. All knowledge culminates in knowing him. If you look at Vedas, Upanishads, at the end you will understand only that Krishna is the object of knowledge. I am the purifier. Just like a soap cleanses dirt, right? Krishna purifies our heart through chanting, devotion, and association. If you do that, our heart will be cleansed. And he also says, I am the Omkara. Om is a sacred sound that we, in Ashtotaras and all, every name of the Ashtotara, there is Omkara. It begins with Om, right? So Om is a sacred sound representation of the Lord Krishna. So it is the beginning of all Vedic mantras. He says, I'm also the Rig Veda, Sama Veda, and Yajur Vedas. Krishna is not separate from the scriptures. He is personally present in all the Vedic knowledge. All Vedas come from Krishna only. Think of a child playing in a beautiful park, right? The child is happy, but may not realize that behind his happiness, there is a lot done by his parents. Father bought the toys, mother packed the snacks, and both of them brought him to the park. Similarly, we are enjoying this world, but often forget that Krishna is behind everything. The air we breathe, the food we eat, the knowledge we learn, everything, for everything, there is Krishna behind. So Krishna is saying, don't just enjoy the world and forget me. I am the one who made it all for you. Remember this. So Krishna, how does he reciprocate to Mahatmas? He says, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. What is he saying? For those who always think of me, Ananyas chintayanto mam, every time always think of me, and who worship me always, and with exclusive devotional service. He says, I personally take care of them. And I will take care of what? Yoga kshema. I'll take care of their yoga and kshema. Yoga means um, what you lack is given by Krishna, and what you have is preserved by Krishna. So yoga and kshema will be taken care by Krishna. So Ananyas Chintayanto Mam means those who think only of Krishna. Chinta means the thought is always Ananyas Chintayanto Mam is Krishna. Those who always think of Krishna without distractions or any material desires. That is Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam. They are always engaged in devotional service. Nityabhiyuktanam. Sincerely trying to please Krishna every day. And Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. Then I personally take care of their yoga and Kshema. So imagine a loving parent whose child is fully dependent on them. The child does not worry about food, school, or safety, right? Tomorrow, will I get food or not? Will I be able to go to school or not? Do I have shoes or not? They don't need to worry about anything because they have loving parents. They personally take care of their children, like food, shelter, health, and protection. Krishna also the same way. If you depend on him, if you do this Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Teshabi Nityabhiyuktanam, then he will take care of all your yoga and kshema automatically. So what is the result for those who accept and who reject Krishna? Krishna is saying here, you go where you worship. That we already seen, right? Worship demigods, you go to demigod planets. If someone worship Indra, they may go to Swargaloka. And worship ancestors like Pitruloka is also one of the lokas. So if you worship ancestors, you will go to Pitruloka. People doing Shraddha karmas or other rituals, right? Just for forefathers, they will do all these rituals, and there will not be any devotion element in that. And if there is no devotion element, then they will go to Pitralokas. And some people worship spirits and ghosts, and they go to such lower planets. Those who do black magic, tantras, etc., they attract lower energies and they suffer in the hellish planets. And whoever worships Krishna, they go to Krishna. Only those who worship Krishna with love and devotion will go to the Vaikuntha planets, and where there is no cycle of birth and death, there are no Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi, and there are no miseries. There, these people will go there and they will enjoy with Krishna. So if you buy a train ticket to Chennai, you will reach Chennai, right? If you buy a ticket to Delhi, you will reach Delhi. The same way, if you worship demigods, you will go to demigods. And if you worship Krishna, you will go to the ultimate destination, which is a permanent destination. But Krishna is giving us the freedom to choose what to do. If you want to worship demigods, he doesn't stop you. And if you want to worship Krishna, he doesn't stop you. But he's also telling us clearly what the results of those choices will be. So choice is ours, but he's also telling you this is the result. Sometimes we also tell children, right? So if you do this, this will happen. If you do that, that will happen. You choose now. You take the decision, etc. So that way, Krishna is saying us, choose anything, but these are the results of your choices. So different paths, different destinations. So here there is an example given. You take a loving parent as Krishna and demigods as well-wishing uncles. So Krishna is like we approach Krishna out of love and desire to serve him. It's like a child who loves the parent and wants to help at home out of affection, not for toys or sweets. Of course, some people also do that. If you do this work, I will give you some chocolates or I will buy you some ice cream, etc. But if without that expectation, also there are some children help parents, right? So that is something here we can take it as example. And demigods, people approach demigods to fulfill material desires like money, job, marriage, or children, etc. And what do they grant? Krishna gives us what is good for us, even if it is not what we asked for. Just like a parent won't give a child too many sweets even if he cries for it, right? For example, if a child has a bronchitis and the parent knows well, he's given an ice cream, he will suffer a lot. But whoever comes from outside, so-called uncles, if child cries for ice cream, they will just buy it. They don't understand the consequences or the sufferings that the child may undergo if they are given that choice. The demigods are also like that, like well-wishing uncles, but Krishna is like a parent. So he gives only what is good for us. Sometimes he's also hard on us. If it is not good, he will not give us. And demigods, they grant exactly what you ask for. They don't the generous uncles, like who gives you what you want without much consideration or long term effects or your health benefits or anything. They don't consider because they don't know about you well, and they are not your direct parent. Someone may worship a demigod for wealth, they may get it, but they may suffer for what they got, and the peace will be lost and they will not be able to make that spiritual progress, etc., right? So demigods will not care about your long term benefits. Only Krishna will care about your long term benefits. So Krishna's blessings are eternal, like devotion, liberation from birth and death, and making you go back to your permanent home. And demigods blessings are temporary. They may give comfortable positions, like they may push you to heaven, they may push you to higher planets where the life is more comfortable than on earth, or you will be living longer life than on earth. But the ultimate that is anyway is permanent, that cannot grant your that cannot break the cycle of birth and death, that we need to understand. So demigods are like if you are going to a shop and ask for a candy, the children, they will get a candy. He will not tell you, okay, if you are buying chocolates, your teeth will be spoiled. Will they tell? No, right? So in the same way, Krishna is like a parent. If you ask for more candies and your teeth is spoiling, then parent will stop uh, children, right? The same way, Krishna will also be taking care of us in a long-term perspective for our well-wishing perspective. Only Krishna can give us what we truly need. What we truly need is eternal happiness and freedom from suffering, and we want pure love. So worshipping demigods is not wrong, but it is limited and not the ultimate path. So we need to choose wisely: temporary material benefits or eternal spiritual joy. So that is up to us. The choice is given by Krishna. So we can decide on what we wanted to do. So now Krishna is glorifying bhakti, the last section. He says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktyupahritam ashnami prayatatmanaha. Krishna says, if someone offers me a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or even water with love and devotion, I happily accept it. Krishna is not interested in the value of the item, but in the love with which it is offered. So he sees the love behind. Think of a small child offering a hand-picked flower to their mother. The flower may be crushed or withered, but the mother accepts it with tears of joy, right? Because the small child, he's thinking of the mother and he's getting a flower from far off distance. Mother accepts it, and he also will have the tears of joy because it came from her child's love. It's not material, it is out of love the child is giving. In the same way, Krishna accepts even the simplest offerings if it is given with a pure heart. He sees the heart, not the valuable things that you are carrying. So this verse tells us you don't need wealth, you don't need education, you don't even need to be a scholar or a priest. All you need to serve Krishna is love and sincerity. Anybody can offer a water, right? Anybody can have that devotion in mind, irrespective of their backgrounds, their ages, their location, or their birth, anything doesn't matter. Anybody can offer anything, like water, a leaf or a flower, whatever they have with devotion, Krishna accepts it. So don't wait to become perfect or wealthy. Start your bhakti with whatever we have, even a glass of water, and Krishna will be pleased. Bhakti is not about resources, it is about the heart and the devotion. Krishna says that in this verse. And the essence is, Krishna says, even basic activities for our body can become devotional if done for Krishna. So like spiritualizing your regular activities, instead of seeing things like eating, giving charity, or doing some religious rituals as material, we can make them spiritual. So how do we make them spiritual? Everything you connect with Krishna, then they will be spiritual activities, like religious duties. Do it only for Krishna. If you are doing a ritual, a festival, or even lighting a lamp, don't do it just out of tradition or out of fear. Do it as a way to please Krishna with love. Krishna, this lamp is for you. This fast, for example, if you are doing a Ekadasi fast, you can say, Krishna, this fast is purify myself for serving you better. So that way you can spiritualize the activities and eat only prasadam. Don't eat just anything. Offer your food to Krishna first. And if it is it's simple, right? You can just cook it, offer it to Krishna, and then you eat it as a prasadam. Then it purifies our body and mind. It has twofold benefits. One is the food will be sanctified. You will be free from all the karma. And out of gratitude, because Krishna is giving you everything and you are offering it to Krishna, that will be your gratitude. For example, if a parent buys a chocolate to a children, and then children offers half of the chocolate to the parent, then parent becomes happy, right? It's not that they want to eat chocolate, but the offering with love and devotion. Even Krishna doesn't eat anything, he just have a glance at the prasadam, glance at the bhoga that you offer, and he makes it prasadam, he makes it as sanctified food. So if it is just a banana or roti, whatever you have, Krishna, please accept this offering, and then you eat. And charity also, give only in Krishna consciousness. Don't give charity randomly. Use your money and energy in service of Krishna. Support temples, prasadam distribution, book printing, or cow protection. There are many activities, right? So donate in goshalas or Sunday feast, Bhagavad-gita distribution. There are so many activities that if you can associate with temples, you can do whatever, 5%, 10% of your salary, or 1% of your salary, or once in a while if you want to do anything, you can do that. And austerity is also, chanting is the best austerity in Kali Yuga. Sankirtana Yajna is the best austerity. So no need of extreme penances. Like few people, they do fasting for 5 days, or Tuesday for some god, Wednesday for some god, Thursday for some god, demigod, etc. Right? So no need to do extreme penances. You just have to follow the Ekadashi and just chant the holy names with sincerity. So when you chant on beats, Krishna sees your effort and devotion. So the Krishna wants to see our love and devotion only. That's what we need to understand. So if you look at this kite, right? So when a kite is flying high, it looks free. You will not be able to see the thread, right or wrong? Will you be able to see the thread of the kite if it is flying high?
Yes, yes, yeah.
You'll not be able to see, right? But is it really free? It doesn't have any thread. It is having that thread, but you will not be able to see. Only because it is connected by that string, it can stay high in the sky. If it is cut, then what happens? It tumbles down, spins uncontrollably, and it crashes and comes down. And the kite will also be teared off. And freedom comes from connection only, not from disconnection. We can understand this analogy with connection to bhakti. The rope represents the regulative principles: no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. The person holding the rope is Krishna. When we say connected to him through these principles, we rise high and we live peacefully, and we live a meaningful life. The kite is like us, the soul, and we appear to be free when you're flying high. But real freedom comes by being guided by Krishna. If the string is cut, then we will not be able to fly high. So that's why we need to have that regulative principles in place. Even for the traffic, also we need to have that regulation, right? Otherwise, everything will be chaotic. With the general example only, we'll be able to understand and think about our spiritual life. We need to be regulated, and that regulation only helps us going far. And the next slide talks about is Lord Partial. Krishna says, I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. So Krishna is like the sun. It shines equally on everyone. It doesn't choose who to shine on, rich or poor, good or bad. But if you choose to close your windows, you will, if you don't want to come out of your home and you don't want to get that sunlight, that doesn't mean that sun is partial, right? So you just didn't take that advantage. It is your choice to be at home, not being exposed to sunlight. That is your choice. But sunlight is equal for everybody. That same way Krishna responds, reciprocates everybody with the same. He doesn't have partiality. Krishna says, I'm equal to all, but if someone loves me and serves me, I respond. He reciprocates the same way. Just a teacher example that we have taken, right? Equal to all students, but naturally spends more time with those who are sincerely asking more doubts and getting clarifications. And you can also take an example of if a child hugs the mother hugs back, right? There are two, a mother has two children, and one child goes and hugs the mother, and mother hugs back. It doesn't mean that mother is partial, right? The other child did not approach the mother. So it is naturally, love naturally attracts love. So that is as simple as that. So Krishna is impartial by default, but he is also Bhaktavatsala. He becomes very dear to those who serve him with devotion. He doesn't reject anyone. Anyone from any background can approach him. And when they do, he becomes especially caring towards them, just like a loving father would care for their children, like the same way. So God is equal to all, but we decide how close we want to be. It is up to us. If we take one step forward, forward to Krishna, and he takes 100 steps towards us. That is not. This is not favoritism. He always says, "I reciprocate." So if you are coming, if you are going towards Krishna, Krishna comes towards you. And if you are not even approaching Krishna, Krishna will not approach you, right? This is as simple as that. But there is a twist here. Um, Even if someone, and there are Mahatmas who falls down. We have discussed about Bharat Maharaj's example, right? Maharaj is an exalted devotee, but he still fell down because of the compassion for a deer. And he remembered the deer at the time of death, and he has born as a deer during that lifetime. But Krishna says he protects them. Sometimes even a sincere devotee like Bharata Maharaj may make mistakes due to some weakness or external influence or influenced by Maya, etc. But if that person doesn't give up bhakti and continues to serve Krishna, Krishna will not reject him. It is not. Krishna says, even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. So once in a while, if somebody takes a if somebody had to do a mistake circumstantially, and if they are coming back to normal, then Krishna will protect them. Like he protected Bharat Maharaj also. Even he has given the deer body to let him know that he has fallen down. But in the deer body, he has that consciousness. He knows his previous life, why he is born as a deer. So that's the reason he was attached to the saintly people during the deer body also, and he did not go anywhere. And after that, he was given another opportunity to take birth as a Jada Bharata, and there he utilized his life fully, and he went to spiritual planets. So he says he quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Like that, Krishna protects his devotees even though they sometimes circumstantially or by the influence of Maya, they commit mistakes, and they'll become righteous immediately, and they will attain peace, is what Krishna says. So this is the essence of all essence. Krishna says, Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi taivam atmana matparayana. So Krishna says, engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me, is what Krishna says. So observing oneself in Krishna consciousness, you need to remember Manmana Madbhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. So Krishna is saying, always think of me. Manmana is think of me always. Madbhakta, become my devotee. Madhyaji, worship me. Mam Namaskuru, offer obeisances to me. So just absorb your mind in me, be my devotee, offer um, offer me your heart and bow down to me. Do this and surely you will come back to me. This is what Krishna says. You don't need complex rituals. You don't need to be rich or scholarly. You don't even need to leave your job or home. Just live your life centered around Krishna. Think of him, serve him, and offer yourself to him with love. So that means Manmana is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, read his pastimes, Bhagavadgita, Bhagavatam. Madbhakta means become his devotee, attend temples, sing bhajans, associate with devotees, etc. And Madhyaji is worshipping him, offer your food, light a lamp, or do kirtan at home, or participate in kirtan outside or in the temple. And Mam Namaskuru, bow down and surrender, offer respects to the deity, to the devotees. Whenever you meet devotees, offer obeisances. And whenever you go to temple or if you have deities at home, you offer obeisances to the deities. So that is chapter 9, which is Raja Vidya Rajaguhyam, most confidential knowledge. And what is there for tomorrow is 10th chapter, hearing essence of Gita. Hearing is coming again. We have there is a difference we will discuss tomorrow. Essence of Gita and acceptance reveals. So these are the 4 topics that we will be discussing tomorrow. This ends chapter 9 and we will chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and close the session. Hare Krishna, unmute yourself and chant Hare Krishna mantra. So we'll all chant together. If you chant together, it will have a lot of benefits. We will do one mantra chanting together. So raise your hands like this and chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. So let me know if you have any questions. So you are clear about this chapter. This is very important chapter. Hope you had a good understanding of this.
Somebody messaged in a chat box, who are all demigods?
Demigods are all other than Krishna. Whoever Indra, Chandra, Vayu, Varun, all are demigods. Durga Devi.
Yeah.
All are demigods.
All other.
Ganesh.
Ganesha, Kartikeya.
Yeah, everybody is a demigod.
Yeah.
And they if you approach them for bhakti, they will give you bhakti. They are all greatest Vaishnavas. So we should not discount their respect. We should respect them. At the same time, we don't need to approach them for material desires. If you are going to them and asking for bhakti, devotion, they will be happily giving you devotion. So that way you can approach them. Otherwise, devotion should be done to Krishna and all will be very happy. If you are doing bhakti, and demigods will be extremely happy. And Lord Shiva always says this, right? If you see this Vishnu Sahasranama, Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasrama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanene. What he says, Parvati Devi is asking. So people who are scholarly will read this or will chant Vishnu's namas every day. But what about people who cannot utter this Vishnu Sahasranama? So Lord Shiva says Shiva is greatest Vaishnava. He is a Rama Bhakta. Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambho. So he is the greatest of all Vaishnavas. So he says Parvati Devi. So if somebody is not able to chant all the Vishnu Sahasranamas, they can chant Sri Rama 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 Iti. 3 times Sri Rama. Sri Rama Rama Rama. That's all. Then Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varanene. So Sahasranamas, whatever benefit that you get by chanting all the Sahasranamas, you will get by chanting 3 times Rama. So that's what it means. So Vaishnavanam Yatashambho is Shiva, and Shiva himself is saying you chant. So 1,000 Sahasranamas are equivalent to 3 Rama names, and 1 Krishna name is equivalent to 3 Rama names. So if you decide you want to chant Sahasranamas or 3 Rama names or 1 Krishna name, that is choice is yours. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Comments? So you are clear about this chapter? You understood clearly of what we discussed?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
We
Mata.
understood.
It's good. Very nice. Thank you very much. Nice lecture giving.
Reboot. So understanding the essence is important. So we are in the middle of Bhagavad Gita. So we are discussing Bhakti Yoga, right? So Bhakti Yoga is all about devotional service. That is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So we discussed the 18 chapters are divided into 3 categories: Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. So we have completed Karma Yoga in the first 6 chapters, and we are discussing Bhakti Yoga in the middle, the jewel box. If you treat the Bhagavad Gita as jewel box, like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentioned, and the middle portion is the actual jewel. So Bhakti Yoga is the actual jewel. If you don't understand the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga is fine, but you should understand Bhakti Yoga, the middle 6 chapters. So we have started 9th and 10th chapters, 8, 9, from 8th onwards, we are into Bhakti Yoga. So don't miss all these sessions. It doesn't mean that you should miss Jnana Yoga chapter also. So we need to understand also, right, why Bhakti is more important.
9th, Mataji. Bhakti Yoga started.
8th.
First 8th only. First 8, not Karma Yoga. 8 plus 8 plus 8. Not
6.
just that.
6 chapters are
6 plus
yeah.
6 plus 6. Sorry. Correct.
Yeah.
7 to 12 is Bhakti Yoga.
7 to 12 are Bhakti Yoga, but in between chapters are more important. Essence of all essence. All right. Thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Antakoti Vaishnavendra ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Thank you everyone.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you
Pranamas.
very much.